Yeah, I have a few questions from one of the super fans on our team of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
So,
Great.
I hope that they're good questions. What was the process of putting together such a detailed historical codex like in the game?
Okay, so we started by asking ourselves what were topics that were things you didn't know about Baghdad in the 9th century and things that were interesting. So we chased two rabbits, you would say, trying to make it interesting, but also trying to make it educative or to help the player go more in depth into that world, in which the main objective is still to assassinate, parkour, and all of that. But doing that, you might have questions. What is this building? What is this character? These people are having lunch. What are they eating, and how are they doing that? So all of that, because we had to research it. There was also, I said two rabbits, but there was actually a third one, which is a bit, it's not showing off, but it's a bit representing all the research that the team has done to create that and to try to put it at the disposal of the player, that they could have it. So we started by asking ourselves that, what would be things that we would want to know and that would be interesting. We had 125 subjects and we cut it to 66 because some were related or all of that. Actually, you started with 50 and then it was to the bone, so we ended up with 66. So this is how we chose. Then the research. Well, to be honest, it's a lot of the research that actually went into the game. So it would be questions that we needed to create a building, and I would take notes. I needed them to answer the questions, so I would take notes, and at some point after we created the building, we went into writing the codex, and I would, okay, so this would be nice. And would it be possible to have an artifact to go with that? We really wanted to have to show that there were real historical artifacts from museums that were used. So, we asked some of our partnering museums if we could use some of their artifacts, and said yes. So yeah, we put the text, put it with the picture of the artifact, and you got the codex.
Amazing. This is my own personal question that I just came up with. You mentioned before in the presentation that some sacrifices were made, some sacrifices to the historical accuracy in favor of gameplay. For example, the parkour, making the streets narrower, and more things for people to traverse. Are there any other examples of places where you had to cut a little bit on historical accuracy to make the gameplay more fun for the player?
To make the gameplay more fun. So I think I gave the example. I'm sorry, I have had multiple interviews, so I don't remember what I said on the stage. Did I mention the wall and the height of the walls while I was on the stage? That we made it really bigger
60,
than it was?
yes,
60
like 60,
meters
exactly,
instead of 20.
yes.
So this is one example. What else did we do that would be to have the... so another thing that we did is that, of course, we made all of the buildings, or most of the buildings, are climbable. So of course it was not the case. So you have multiple buildings that would have scaffoldings next to them. Of course, I mean, next to the big palace there were no scaffoldings that were simply there. So this we imagined so that it would be climbable. There are also some places that we mix together. We have only one hammam, one public bath. So it's bigger than probably what it was, but it is said that there were 60,000, which is probably, there are numbers in historical sources that are just a way to say a lot.
Right.
So 60,000 is probably not true, but there were a lot, and we have only one. So in this case, it's question of budget. It's a question of you don't want to visit a location that looks the same 10 times.
Assassin's Creed
so
bathhouse.
we have only one hammam. So yeah, this is one of the examples, I guess.
Great. Which areas of the game have the most fictionalized aspects, and which ones have the most historically accurate aspects?
Okay, so I will tell you, we have more information about we tend in history to have more information about the lifestyle of the elites and especially intellectuals and artists, because these people will leave more artifacts and people will write about them and all of that. So the center of the city, the round city, is a place we know much more about than RBA, the northern part of the city, which is a grimy, like industrial place. We don't know the name of many of the people who live there. We know that there were people who would make the bricks and the rocks that were used by the people in the round city, but we don't know them by name. We know some generalities about them. So here we had, so I explained a bit earlier that our accuracy would be trying to make completely the picture, but sometimes you have blanks, and authenticity is filling out the blanks with educated guesses. Well, we had more educated guesses in the case of RBA than in the case of the round city and the Caliphate Palace, for instance.
Great. How would you compare the recreation of the world in Mirage to some of the other recent Assassin's Creed games like Valhalla and Odyssey?
To be honest, it's strange to say. I'm not the right person to say because I haven't worked on these other games. I know that we have, for games and games, used historians, so people who have had the same position as I did, who have had the help of external experts. And so, I would say that they did the same job I did, but I could not tell you if it's better or worse or different than what I did because I was not doing it.
Do you ever play video games that are set in certain historical periods?
Oh, yeah.
And nitpick,
Critique everything.
Critique and nitpick at some of the details that you would have done differently?
No. I play almost exclusively historical video games.
Right.
I really love the Paradox Studio games like Crusader Kings, things like that. I grew up playing Total War series.
Right.
So plenty of historical games I love, but I manage, and I'm happy about that I manage to like turn a bit my brain off when I play those games so that I can enjoy them. I can also read historical novels and have fun with them, even if it's not exactly.
Right.
So yeah, I guess it is a good thing because I would say that I enjoy history in pretty much every aspect of my life. So if I was always nitpicking, my life would be miserable.
That's very understandable. Do you hope that this game might help create more of an interest for younger audiences and Western audiences in this sort of period of Islamic history?
I would love that. So there are teachers that use the Assassin's Creed games, usually not the parts where you assassinate people, but we put the entire game, after some time we put the entire game on YouTube, and they would go from minute 10 to minute 30. Hey, here is the Parthenon, this is Venice. So we do that, and it is used. Now, the goal of Assassin's Creed is not to replace teachers or to become a class by itself. But I gave my example a bit earlier that for me one of the things that drawn me into history is watching Gladiator as a teenager. Right. So it's not a good historical movie, but it gives you a first access, a first taste. Yeah. If in 5 years someone has played Mirage, has had a taste, it's not an history university class, but it gives you a taste, and in 5 years, because of that taste, they go into university, I would be so amazed and delighted. So yeah, I hope so, but I'm not deluded into thinking that this will replace universities. No, it won't.
Okay, one last question, and you mentioned this during the presentation, but I'd like to ask it again here. What was one of the biggest challenges in having to recreate a city that had so much of it destroyed over the course of time?
Yeah, so actually, to be honest, this is the usual challenge of the historian, that we have to make use of everything we have, every bit of information. And especially, so my specialties are antiquity and so ancient times and Middle Ages, and we tend to not have enough information about anything for these periods. Yeah. So we have to use everything, every part of text, every artifact, every building that might have been looking the same. We tend to do that anyway, but we had especially to do that in the case of Baghdad because it was destroyed. Because we have texts, but the texts don't tell us everything we would like to know. They do not describe to you the life of the less fortunate people of the city because they don't care. They will not describe the buildings because, well, they go through them every day. So why would they describe it to you? But I don't go through them every day, so I need to know so that I can tell the art director what's the color of that tile. So yeah, we had a lot of educated guesses to do, and we had sources to do these educated guesses, but we needed to bring all of them together, or it would have been simply guesses. So yeah, we had to be really thorough, yeah. So a lot of job, a lot of work went into doing that.
Clearly. That's all the questions I had. Did you have anything to add, Ricky?
I guess I had one question about the animals. Do we know if there was rats in the streets? Do we know if there was kind of wild monkeys? Like, what was that like in that time period? And is any of that in the game?
So, okay. So there is. Did you play the game?
We got a little chance, yeah.
Okay. So if there is, so the caliphs were incredibly wealthy individuals. Who amassed whatever they wanted because they were so wealthy.
Right.
And one of the things that they enjoyed having was a menagerie. So like not a circus, but animals, exotic animals.
Yes.
Because they show off.
That's
know,
right.
It's a way to
the tigers, the lions.
Yes, but like whatever they could put their hands on. Like, hey, you have an animal, but it's because it is sick in a way or another. There is a mention of a giraffe that was white.
An albino giraffe, that's super rare.
Yes, I don't even know if it really exists, but supposedly they have that.
Yeah.
So simply because, hey, it's prestige and it's cool, and I'm the only one to have that because I'm the caliph.
Yeah.
This is something you have other kings having this kind of delusion of grandeur, I guess.
Yeah.
You had Pablo Escobar having his own menagerie in Colombia. So I guess I'm not saying that the caliphs were Pablo Escobar.
We're not making that historical link,
no,
right?
There is the delusion of grandeur that you would have there.
Yeah.
So they had plenty of animals, and we have a menagerie in the game.
Very cool.
It is in a forbidden area inside of the castle. You can see it, but it is there.
Okay.
Now, there were certainly rats, but we don't have rats in the game.
Okay.
There are there are cats that you can pet.
Right.
And there are many other animals, wild and not, that are around the city and outside of the city. So I will let you discover.
Oh, very cool.
I encourage you to go to the menagerie.
Okay.
I had a lot of fun looking into that.
Oh, that's awesome.
I rode a camel a bit, so that was
Right.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
the camel. No,
Camels are-
that's,
I hijacked a camel. I let that guy for dead in the street. Whatever.
I think you punch him. You don't kill him when you steal.
I mean, he's poor now. He's got no camel.
Well,
You might as well.
Might as well.
You ruined his life, Ricky. Congratulations.
That was good.
That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your questions.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I hope you have what you wanted.
Absolutely. Congratulations on the game.
Thank you.